Hello everybody and welcome to Corrupt the Town combo. As the person who kind of created the combo, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring this to the championship. And I didn't want to immediately make a video on it because, well, people are going to immediately see it. They're going to know what they're up against. And I actually wanted to, make a video to see if this thing actually had legs. So I waited, I played a couple games, and I'm now already in top 32, taking it all the way. I'm going to be going through a bunch of the different cards that are in this, some of the coolest synergies and stuff, even, real special, how to mulligan properly with this, because there's really two modes when it comes to this deck. There's the combo side, and there's the just staying alive / mid-range undead reanimator package. I think this deck has a lot of legs, and before I really get into it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Please, it means a lot, and I'll make more combo videos or things of that essence. So, let's immediately get to it. So, what you really need for the Corrupt the Town combo is Corruptor, obviously, Ring of Mulligan, it's in basically every single combo, Town Priest, and Town. So, with these three combinations, well, the three combinations of cards and then your avatar, you're able to play Town Priest on Town for literally free, which triggers Ring of Mulligan, allowing you to deal 1 damage, you gain 1 life. But with Town Priest, since it's now considered an evil minion, just saying, then since you play it for free, its Genesis returns it back to its hand. You guys can't even see it because I'm blocking. But you're able to immediately bounce it back to your hand, keep dealing damage over and over and over again. So that's the idea of the combo. The whole point of the deck, get to that combo or stay alive in order for you to do it. So you're probably wondering, hey MV, Town Priest is exceptional. Why are you only running 2 of them in there? Hey, Town is exceptional. Why are you only running 2 of them in there? Ring of Mulligan, unique. You can only have 1 of them in there. Well, it's fairly simple. Silver Bullet, one of the new things from Gothic. I mean, Town Priest is from Gothic as well, including Corruptor. But Silver Bullet allows you to get an exceptional spell from your collection. You can cast it. So, by having 2 of those in there, you basically turn only having 3 Town Priests in your deck to having 4, because you have access to 2 Silver Bullets. And just in case, I'm going to show the collection anyway, you've got a couple of other spells in there, just in case. So in case you accidentally get 2 Silver Bullets, so not only do you have an extra Town Priest in there, you also have stuff like a Witching Hour in case you want to do some really big, massive damage. Maybe a Whirling Blades to suddenly deal that last killing blow. Or, what if they have Ring, but you don't? Well, Telekinesis. Absolutely broken, so instead of having 3 ways of getting Ring, you actually kind of have 5. It's really weird. It involves your opponent actually having it. That's why there's just 1 of in the sideboard. But if you do manage to steal their ring, oh, it's so funny. I've never been able to do it before, but oh, I just want to imagine people's faces. You're also probably seeing that there's a town in the collection as well as Beacon. That's just for extra little mana production, just in case. But that's because of a new site called Erzatz Platz, which you may play an exceptional site from your collection here, banishing this site. So, instead of just having 2 towns, you can have 4. Well, instead of having 3 towns, you can have 4 with Erzatz Platz. There's also Donnybrook Inn, which basically acts as a town. The rest of the sites are fairly straightforward. I mean, you've got your obvious, wizards' dens, windmills, a lot of just the good sites that you can really have in this. The main thing you're probably going to be noticing, though, is that there is no water in the sites. You'd probably want to be running Color Out of Space, a lot more of the Tor sites. Reasoning why is because I'm running 4 copies of Landmass to really help push you into getting your town. It's also just a really good idea just to have a lot more ramp, especially in a deck like this, because of how mana intense it is. But from how I've been playing, dude, landmass is so good. Something like this, just being able to push yourself from 3 mana up to 5, and then next turn pumping up to 6, because there's so many good 6 drops you really want to play. But we'll get to those. Stuff like Dream Quest and Highland Princess are your main ways of getting ring. But then we need card draw. Obviously, we have 3 copies of Sisters of Avalon, which pair really nice with 4 copies of Den of Evil. Den of Evil, I think, one of the most broken sites that they included in Gothic. Being able to make your evil spells cost 1 less, ignoring Threshold, which allows you to turn 1 play out Highland Princess, Sisters of Avalon. If you want to play Lady Isil, sure, but you can Frontier Settlers for 1 mana, which means that already turn 2, you're up to 3 mana, which is really, really good. But you're going to notice some weird cards in here, like Flanking Maneuver. It's such a weird card. You'd think, oh, why don't you just run 4 copies of Blink? Well, I actually did some math, did some crunching before Championship. I actually was playing around with this and realized that if you have only 1 Blink, you really need a second one, especially if you have a Silver Bullet, since Silver Bullet requires you to tap and sacrifice Silver Bullet for you to cast your Town Priest. So you need a card that double blinks that also still draws you a card, and conveniently Flanking Maneuver literally does exactly that. Allowing you to move 2 forward, 1 over, and drawing you a card is perfect. It is 3 mana, which Blink is really good because it's only 2 mana, but because you're playing Frontier Settlers and Landmass, you're able to ramp up into your Flanking Maneuver a lot quicker, and allows you to, in 1 turn, being able to Flank Maneuver into Silver Bullet, play out your combo. It's really good. We got some other stuff like Call to War allows you to fetch up your Town Priests. There is 3 copies of that. You're probably wondering, why the heck are you running 3 copies of it when you only really need like 1 or 2? Well, that's because a lot of your other mortals are exceptional, things that you'd really want. If you need another Frontier Settlers in order for you to get into your town, hey, look at that. You can fetch it with Call to War. If you're really pushing, like you have Town Priest, you have Ring, you really need that town, well, you can get a Settlers. What if you're trying to do some Sisters of Avalon and Carrionet combo? You can immediately Call to War to get a Sisters of Avalon, to be able to discard one of your really big undeads to then play Carrionet. I think Carrionet's really, really good, especially in a deck like this, especially if you have something like Lady Isil, being able to Carrionet out like a Grandmaster Wizard or an Army of Dead, a Young Master Damien, any of those, and then being able to bounce it back to your hand whenever it dies is really, really good. Allows for some really good like control elements when this deck is kind of a mid-range good stuff combo deck. That's also why we're playing stuff like Root Spiders really help us stay alive. Death Knight, if you need some extra push, really helps with defense but can swing back for offense, buffing up all of your other undead, which are basically going to be a lot of your early drops. Frontier Settlers suddenly becoming 2 powers, your Sisters becoming 2 powers, Apprentice Wizard becoming 2 powers. Like, they can eventually push and actually trade instead of just being defensive tools. Gargantula also being able to basically 2-for-1 your opponent, being able to disable one of their big minions while also, if they have to play a minion in order for them to then like free their minion from the cocoon, you can then actually just attack or block with Gargantula and just control so much. It's a little bit awkward, I will say. Out of all of the cards in this deck, Gargantula is the only awkward one in this, where it being 3 earth is just kind of rough, since you really only need like 1 or 2 earth sites. I think this deck just in general really suffers from, you really need your Threshold, but because of the new additions, stuff like Mountain Peaks and Fertile Earth, you're really able to get there a lot sooner. Obviously, you need to hit one of those, which is why the Mulligan is so important in this. So you just kind of have to watch out for that. But having all 5 of the vampires, the lifelinking vampires, if you will, just are so good, especially against aggro decks. If you're able to pop one of these down on like 4 or something, being able to immediately gain all that life back, being able to defend yourself is just so good. I have won games literally by just sitting there. They take me down to 1. I can bounce myself back and just keep going back and forth. They can never really kill me until finally I'm able to assemble a combo and just snipe them out. Pudge, obviously, is just one of the best cards. It's really good for Earth, and can really help with your like last minute snipes. If all of a sudden they start moving around doing all this, they have to be aware of Pudge, because then all of a sudden it can also act as a flanking maneuver. If you get over here and then play your combo out, you can do that. All of these cards have multiple uses. Every single one of them is specifically in place for a reason, like the vampires being one of your only airborne support. But since they're also undead, if somebody's playing something like Avatar of Air, then you can then carry and edit back out and start 2 for 1ing or 2 for 2ing, more like, and be perfectly fine with it. Sir Galahad just being a really big butt. People really struggle to attack into this if they don't immediately have a really big kill spell. So it's just good. Grandmaster Wizard, obviously just drawing so many cards. If you can Sisters into Carrionet, you're basically winning the game. It's such a good early, it basically draws you 4 cards by playing 2 cards. It's just really good. Nosferatu just being overall really good. Defensive tool can turn into an offensive tool really later. Returned King is more of a meta call in a way. It basically acts as a Death Knight, but also since I figured a lot of people were going to be playing stuff like Necromancer, then all of a sudden if you manage to play a Returned King, your opponent can't really do a whole lot against it. All of a sudden, all of their little 1 power skeletons they're pumping out, you get them all, and that's really strong. Young Master Damien obviously being like one of the best defensive tools in the game, being able to put for 6 mana, putting out 8 power worth of stats, and 6 of that just can't die while this is nearby. It's really, really good. You can't really just lightning bolt this. You have to like Earthquake or Poison Nova, but even then, they all die, but only Young Master Damien. So it's just super good. I've actually used this to win games because of like putting out 3 bodies can just be a game changer in general. Army of the Dead just being a very just meaty body that you have to immediately like answer, and if not, it's going to start pumping out so much value, especially if you end up getting a Returned King or Death Knight out. It just pumps out so many little guys. This thing doesn't really buff up too much of like the overall combo and game plan, but since it's so large, it tends to just eat up so many things or does so much damage. Your opponent has to answer it while you're just drawing so many cards from just playing the game. Stuff like Necronomicon is kind of weird, but because of how it's worded, it's each differently named undead and instant nearby joins the band to play. Draw a spell for each. It doesn't say for each you control. So I have gotten in situations where I'm playing against, I think it was Avatar of Air, and I had a Sisters of Avalon and an Apprentice Wizard out, and they had a Dapperel Vampire, and I actually got to draw 3 cards because they're differently named undead. So it's one of those weird situations where it can draw you quite a few cards. You tend to want to really hold on to this because your opponent's not really gonna be like attacking a lot of your like, Apprentice Wizards, Sisters, all that. They'd much rather push for actual damage. So all of a sudden you're paying 5 and drawing like 3 or 4 cards. That's pretty good, and you're not doing anything to do it. Literally, you just exist, and you're probably getting card draw. Earthquake, obviously, because it's the best board wipe you need, but it has secret tech, which I have used in the championship. Being able to use Earthquake to simultaneously remove your opponent's minions while also moving the enemy avatar to get in a good kill position, I had a Sisters of Babylon like 2 squares in front of their enemy avatar, and they tried to play a minion to defend themselves, and I earthquaked, buried it, and then moved in for the kill. It was really cool, really interesting way to win a game, but it can be used like that. Most of the time you're just going to be using it as a board wipe anyway, but Black Mass is so ungodly good in this deck. I mean, it's basically 4 mana, draw 3. Insane rate, especially because 37 of your 60 spells are evil minions. Like, it's genuinely just a 4 mana, grab 3 whatevers you want. It's most likely going to be, if you find Town Priest, probably going to grab it, but Highland Princess, grab it. If you get it, finding the vampires, you're probably going to grab it. Grandmaster Wizard, grab it. Like, it's just kind of dependent on what you really need at the time, but there's so many, like, if you need control pieces, you can get it. If you need life, you can get it. If you need a combo piece, you might be able to find it. There's just so many different ways that you can play Black Mass, and it just benefit you. So 4 mana, draw 3, really, really good. So yeah, the collection also including 4 rules, because you'd think, oh, you'd want to probably put in other, like, copies of other different cards or any of that. I figured, since we're running 3 Carionets, if you happen to play Young Master Damien and then need that again, and you cast Carionet, yeah, you might as well just have the other 2 ghouls in there, just in case if that situation does pop up. It's probably not. I also, in early drafts of this, used to have the sites that let you get like ghouls or persistent knights from your collection onto that site, but then I realized that it was just super slow and really clunky, a lot more in the late game, so I ended up cutting them at the end. But this is the deck. Now, what's infinitely more important, if you decide to play this deck later on, is how to mulligan correctly. In general, you are most likely going to, I'd say 9 times out of 10, unless you have the perfect sites, you're probably going to mulligan 1 site and 2 spells. Almost always. In general, if you have something like a Root Spider or like a Sisters in hand, it really just depends on the spell side what you really have. If you happen to have Ring, keep it immediately. Just keep it. If you have basically the full combo in hand, keep it. There you go. There's your game plan. If you end up mulliganing 2 spells in 1 site and you happen to see, like, you know, Pudge, Vampire, and like Landmass, all right, well, there you go. Now you're going into a lot more of like a control, like mid-rangey kind of style, which then allows you to switch over to your combo if you end up drawing into them. I have done a little bit of the math on it. It's really poor math, and I don't know if the math is even correct at all, but from what I was saying, you have roughly a 5% chance of having the combo in your hand by turn 3, which isn't great odds, but when you really think about it, it being a game-ending combo by turn 3, 5% is great. I think at the lowest end that I possibly saw, with doing all my math, just thinking you're only drawing like 1 or 2 cards in it, by turn 8, you have a minimum of 24% chance of getting the combo. It's not great odds, but in comparison, I was just fiddling around with other numbers. On closer to like the mid-high end, when you're happen to, like, I don't know, Sisters into like, you know, Carionet Grandmaster Wizard or something, if you happen to get something like that off, then by turn 7, you have a 42% chance of just getting the combo by turn 7. Like, the numbers in this can range from, like, you'll basically have it, or you happen to have to play a little bit more grindy, a little bit more mid-range. Already, I've played 3 rounds? Yeah, 3 rounds in the championship. First game, I didn't even get the combo. I had Ring and Town Priest, and I could never find Town. So I ended up having to actually individually play Town Priest for 1 mana each time, but that's still just really, really good. Game 2, I managed to get combo off turn 5, killed him turn 6. in game 3, I technically had the combo turn 3, but I had to end up playing it on turn 4 just because of how awkward it was. He played really well, pushed in for a lot of damage, like really early, and just really started, like, it made me push the brakes on him in order for me to actually do it. It technically bought him a turn, but then he ended up wasn't able to come back from it because, you know, he's all of a sudden pushing so hard and so aggressively, and then I end up bringing him from 20 life down to 0 for technically 1 mana, because that's really what the combo is. It's just, as long as you have Ring, and then you can tap Corruptor, play Town, play Ring, and then you can infinite them. That's the beauty and power of this deck, is it doesn't involve thinking. It's more of a, you don't have to worry about, like, oh, I have to find the combo, I have to do this. You can just keep doing a game plan, keep, you know, stalling them out, just playing a little smart here and there, staying alive until eventually you can just snipe it. And before anybody says anything, there are a few ways that this might get errated. Because obviously my buddies and I have been talking, and I might be the reason why this Corrupt the Town combo does get an errata, and there's a couple of different ways that it could potentially, and if you see this, Ira, love you, man, but please don't. Easiest way, obviously, is just make Town Priest only trigger another adjacent evil minion. Obviously, that would destroy the whole entire combo, and we'd probably have to go either to Mill combo or like Bitten combo, which just, they're not as good. They're a lot more clunky. Things can't really be tutored as easily. You can make it so that Corruptor literally is a replacement effect. It doesn't just add it, since Call to War, being able to search for exceptional mortals, which is Town Priest, your Frontier Settlers, Sisters of Avalon, any of those, that does actually nerf it quite a bit. Not as much. It would honestly be like a couple percentage points down, but it would genuinely hurt this deck. Other way, obviously, ban Ring, nerf Ring, do any of that. Obviously, it's just any of those, but there are just quite a few ways. If they do end up errataing it, sure. It's probably going to be with actual Town Priest itself. It's not going to be with Town or Ring or any of that, but I really hope that they don't, because this could potentially be the most, like, I'd say the most viable combo that Sorcery's really ever seen. I mean, yeah, we've seen, like, you know, early Jin combo, kind of combo. We've seen Snacks combo, but those are just like high synergy combos. This is an actual, like, combo that you play toward to win. It doesn't just have to be alright, you get an airborne minion out and it does the thing. It doesn't have to be if you happen to have these 2 cards that can just be good on their own, you take an extra turn. This is a full-blown, like, if you have these cards in your hand, you win the game. So, I don't know how they would want to do that. It's probably going to be to Town Priest. But wouldn't it be pretty awkward to have it suddenly say return target other adjacent evil minion? I'm just saying, I wouldn't nerf it myself, but I might be the reason why it does. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did make it all the way through, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my other stuff too. I'm gonna be making videos here and there, just talking about whatever, talking sorcery, just talking. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys hopefully here soon.